recalls. Or if you want to go to our website, which is on the top of the flyer, and you go to the recall Gavin Newsom, the drop down, the instructions, it's going to have a copy of the letter there that we received from the Secretary of State. When you click that, it's not a PDF of ours. When you click that letter, it will take you to the Secretary of State's website where they have that letter published online. On their website, and it talks about all the rules and many of the rules, there's so many laws. It talks about all the pertinent rules and laws and regulations surrounding the recall. So it is information that people can find, they can see that we are approved, we are authorized to circulate and verify, because people are apprehensive. And when we take an active role in leadership in our community, it's a responsibility to make sure that we're communicating clearly to people and leading them in the right direction to help them stop spoon feeding them, but help them take action to be able to make the decisions they need to make to be successful in what they want to accomplish in the state. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Is there a plan in the budget to hire paid signature
Yes,
gatherers?
there is. We do have a business plan, if you will. So we are still fundraising, and obviously we're growing exponentially. So this is a copy of it. But don't just believe me, okay? Anybody can give you a copy of anything these days. All right? No, I'm serious. Even a petition that's wrong. That's why website.
You're gonna get doxxed.
They require you to put a residential address. It's a small price to pay to recall Gavin Newsom.
Yes.
I live in a condo. I do have a wall, okay, and I have a security guard, but there's nothing stopping some of these people out there that are crazy progressives. That, I mean, it's problematic.
Do you have a CCW?
But I am. It's an honor to be able to step forth and put my name and address out there, like 137, I believe, other proponents did.
I Googled Recall Newsom and a whole list of sites came up, but your actual site never showed. But
Gotta love Google.
Well, but
We could pay a fortune, and I'll tell you.
but Ballotpedia. Ballotpedia.
Yeah, let's carry on. Let's carry on. Yeah, let's carry on. Yes.
Speaking of that, when I tried to get on your site today and I pushed for the locations, it sent me to a what is that?
GoDaddy.
So the GoDaddy website. So what it's overloaded. It's overloaded. Like I said, we're in the top.
I even called GoDaddy and they tried to figure it out.
We're in the top 3% of websites hit in the United States right now that are nonprofits. It's big. Okay, it's big. And when I say there's traffic, just try again.
Okay.
It's there. I was on it today, and you know, we had to be real prudent with funds, grassroots funds on startup. We changed that real quick. But, and we have, by the way, talking about donors, we do have some really large donors who are interested, they're watching, and they're going to be helping. They're stepping up. Okay?
Agnes was great. Agnes was awesome.
And
on
we
Fox
have
and
ambassadors.
Friends.
If you have any other large name individuals that want to be ambassadors that speak as they travel the state and whatever organization they're in, and they want to mention the recall, they can take petitions with them. We'll provide them. We'll provide posters. It's all about everybody working together to get this thing done. There was one more question from a guy. Yes, ma'am.
I must not have been paying attention, but
Yes.
what's the boxes on either side of the signature?
No problem. So the boxes on either side, the one, if you're looking at the document, the three little boxes on your left are for voter registrar information. If somebody wants to sign a registration form, that information would go in there. That's for a master voter. Yes, and then the ones on the right are for the Secretary of State to fill out when they review them and either approve or deny and look through and make those judgment calls. They're for annotations. That's why they need to be left clean.
Are we able to get some kind of running total?
Get in there. So what we're going to do, there are going to be a few information pieces that go out. Make sure you sign up for our website, for our notifications. Again, we don't spam. We send out information as we get it, changes, revisions, updates, tips if people are saying something en masse. When you receive that circulation, if you signed up to volunteer, you will be getting a request to submit how many documents that you filled. And those documents that you fill in, we will be keeping tally of how many individuals. We will also be double checking as we go through. We need to double check, because what we want to have happen, the idealist opportunity is to have your numbers that you tell us, you turn in. So we know. When the information goes to the spreadsheet and we get the documents in the counties or in San Diego, that we can take a look and we can compare those numbers that we receive and we're going through to the ones you say you submitted. Okay, that's an important component, because we want to know that the petitions you say you're counting and you're getting actually made it to your county representative through either our office or through your drop-in point, drop-off point. Okay, we need to make sure that those numbers match, okay? And then we also need to make sure that when we go to the voter registrar, the 2 individuals or more that are going to go, that are authorized to submit to the Secretary of State approved voter registrars in the county, they will know, not only based off of what we have and double checked, they will be noting what they turn into the Secretary of State, the voter registrar's office. And then we will compare that to what's, we want to make sure we have check and balances. So we will send that out in email. If you volunteered, you will send that in email. Yes, ma'am.
One question is,
Yes.
we have been asking for county coordinators.
Yes. So we need to talk about that. This is really important. If people want to lead in their county, which we have many of them, leading means different things to different people. A county coordinator would help logistically with all the needs of the county in activating either the volunteer grassroots or the drop-off locations and that type of logistics. Those have to be very special people. Right now we have about 5 people. There are 58 counties. We need people to step up. It's a lot of work, and I know many of us work, but don't get discouraged, because there's also going to be that need for professional circulators, as well as leadership in terms of, I wouldn't say a consulting firm, but an actual organization that will be able to handle that type of logistics. I would say in about a month. Okay, this is big. We are big right now. It's huge. So this is going to go real quick. Don't get nervous. We have a lot of really great people stepping up. Yes, ma'am.
Is there a deadline?
And also that other email where you submit the numbers and what you're collecting. The deadline is February 13th,
Before Valentine's Day.
2020, and we hope to have a nice Valentine love letter for Gavin Newsom. So, but before that deadline, don't think, okay, that deadline is coming and it's way out there. No, roll it back. We're gonna have deadlines monthly. Okay, the first monthly deadline is the first week of October. We're going to have to do our first submission to the local registrars, the county registrars, at September 30th. So you'll be hearing more about that if you're in Riverside County, Santa. Whatever your county is, we'll be talking about organizing those petitions, bringing them all together, and making sure that they're turned in together.
Which is my last question, how do we make sure that with everything going on, you got a dedicated group of people in the room,
Yes.
we're all here, our names get to the right people in your growing organization, so we can use, our capabilities at the cost.
Right. So again, send us an email. Go to that website. Send us an email. I have business cards here. Send us an email. We need it in writing. What it is that you want to do. If you want to be a drop-off location, a pickup location, a circulator. Many of you I know already have signed up and been contacted as well. So we just need you though to reach out and be real specific about what you want to do. And the last thing I want to talk about those individuals that are stepping up, if you have people who might want to donate time, talent, or treasure, send them our way. But there are key people, the ones that I mentioned, that'll be going to the voter registrar's office and dropping these petitions off. Okay? Those people need a letter. They need an official letter from the proponents, from us, stating that they have the authority to drop off the petitions to the Secretary of State. So we will be furnishing those letters to a select group of people. In some of the counties, we have 4 or 5. Again, that's different than a county leader, okay? County leader does a completely different role. But those individuals will be meeting people and making sure they have all the petitions for that county. They've gone through everything. Everything's been double-checked, numbers and what have you. And then they will be going to the voter registrar's office and submitting the petitions and being a part of that process. People are concerned about the bullying that might happen there. So we want to have witnesses. We don't ever want to be doing something alone. And that's another thing I want to talk about, safety. There are a lot of people out there right now that don't like Gavin Newsom or what he's doing. But there are a lot of people out there who are hyper-aggressive right now. And we need to be vigilant. If we're out in the public square, before you go out to put out a table, especially if it's in a private place and private business, talk to the establishment. Call them first. There are many organizations and people, small businesses, that want to have the tables there. But there are some that have procedures and follow different regulations. So find out what those are. And make sure that you're proactive. We want to make sure you're safe out there. Don't go set up a table on your own by yourself. That's our suggestion. We can't stop you, but we would suggest we all be vigilant, okay? Because we are a nonpartisan movement to recall Gavin Newsom. And it's important that we welcome all people to the table. If they want to recall him, doesn't matter their party, doesn't matter their belief systems. If they want to recall Gavin Newsom, sign on the dotted line. Okay? No judgments. Let people share with you what their concerns are. Listen, and then encourage them. And then the other thing is that on the safety issue and the nonpartisan issue, this is really important because, one, we all want to get to that final state where the recall gets through, we get enough petitions. What happens next? That's the big question. Once the recall petitions we reach the numbers, and then the Secretary of State certifies, this gets put on the ballot. And with the momentum, what happens between now and February 13th, we want to have much success in reaching the populace out there about why we should be recalling Gavin Newsom and why it's important. So that way, when it gets put on the ballot, we have also momentum. We're going to be talking about talking points and other things to be able to get him recalled. Because he needs to be, people will have to vote on this. Yes, ma'am.
Can he mess up what's on the ballot like he did 6? That was a fiasco.
The regulations surrounding the recall for statewide official, they're going to basically have a yes or no. Do you want to? The wording is specific. Do you want to recall Gavin Newsom? And that's not what it says. And I should have that right here, but I don't. But it's very clear. Do you want to recall Gavin Newsom or don't you? If you do, these are the candidates. If you don't, that's what we want to avoid. Yes?
Is it on the ballot? Is
This,
it on the March ballot?
no. This petition, when approved, okay, the understanding is once approved and we have enough circular signatures that it will, after it's approved, go on the November 2020 ballot. Yes, so it's not, according to what we've seen so far, pending no legal obstructions or other issues, it would be going on the November 2020 ballot. It wouldn't technically be a special election. Yes, sir.
Yeah, if, let's say midpoint, we have 2 million signatures, we don't stop, we keep going.
We don't stop. That was what I was telling you. We have numbers that are they're eye-opening, and my numbers are still good. We need to just make sure all of what we put out comes back in, and we need to make sure that we don't stop between now and February 13th. That means through the holidays. That means at Thanksgiving time, when people are shopping and out at their local shops. I mean, that we're going to go gung-ho through the whole deal. Remember, the progressives never stop. We, as responsible citizens of the United States of America and residents of California, need to show our resolve and take action. Yes, ma'am.
That date, February 13th.
Yes, ma'am.
2020.
Let's be quiet so that way we can hear what she's
My
asking.
question is that the final post date of my last packet of,
No, you have to.
No,
do
so
what does that date mean to somebody who's got signatures?
it is the last date that they will accept at the voter registrar's office the submissions. However, it really, they're going to post, the Secretary of State will do an analysis based on the county registrar's offices through this process and do a check on where they're at, and they're going to do a notification on their website. It's very specific, where they earmark whether or not they think this is going to fail or if it's going to go through. So they really watch this. Like I said, there are those monthly timelines. Our push is to get us enough signatures through either by the 1 month or by the 2 month. That's our goal. It's just like Ray Davis, like they said there. Our goal is to get this done swiftly and fast. And why? Because there's going to be, and so you know, there are no regulations on contribution limits. So Mr. Gavin Newsom and his crew can donate top level dollars. We need people who are be it Republicans, no party preference, independents, American Independent Party, Green, Libertarian, Democrats who are sick of Gavin Newsom for whatever reason it might be, to step up. Because I can tell you, Gavin Newsom called me and the other proponents an extremist for supporting President Trump's agenda. Well, there are 4.4 million Trump voters here alone. That's not, that may not be party, but here's the deal. Fed up and want fiscal responsibility and responsible leadership. So we're not going to stop. We're going to keep pushing and just keep working.
I have one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
If I'm at my table and somebody says, I need to register to vote, so I have them fill out their registration, what do I do with that form?
Okay, you're going to have to, if they don't want to take it with them, you will need to submit it to the voter registrar's office.
Do I mail it in?
So there are instructions on there.
Okay.
So many people that I know want to walk it in. They don't want to be responsible for it in the mail. They don't want to they go walk it in. So it's a great responsibility. And we know that that's what's happening with the circulators out there. Read the forms on there, what you can do with it, and the very specifically. But most people do turn them in person.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
I have two questions. The first one is, if someone makes a mistake when they're signing, can you draw a line through it and have them do it on the next line, or do you have to start like a new sheet?
Okay, well, this happens frequently, and generally it's on line 2 or 3.
Yes.
Okay, because they're so excited, and they're like, oh no, and then guess what they do? They don't wait for you to draw a line through it. They start scribbling through it, and they move to the next line. When you see that happen, our suggestion is to say, okay, just wait just a second. Let's go ahead and take a look at what happened here, and get them to slow down a little bit, because they might be, they're pressured for time or what have you, and encourage them to, okay, this line item is going to be voided out. Let's move to the next line item.
But you don't have to throw out the whole petition, is the point.
I would not throw
Yeah,
out the whole
signature.
petition, but the encouragement would be that they don't go crossing it out themselves and scratching through and ruining other signers, because that other signer could very well be in the store or could be gone. This could be day 2. You might have had one left over. So it's important to encourage.
I'm sorry, I have a second
Yes,
question
ma'am.
too. Is if we are in a big group and
Yes.
there are a lot of different counties that will be there,
Yes.
and we have one signature on one page for one county, do we need to fill all 3, or is it okay to send the one in?
We would suggest if you're doing multiple events it says between such date and such date, to look to garner more. But if you think that that's not going to be a possibility, by all means return it.
Okay. I mean, if someone was visiting a store that I was at from, another county, they wanted to sign, and,
Do you make them a sheet and turn it in?
okay.
If you have a stack of them, we will go through it, we'll put it with the correct county, we'll make sure it gets to the correct person to be able to be submitted in the correct county. The important part is to make sure you have enough petitions to secure every single person who wants to recall Gavin Newsom, right? So encourage it. If you have to turn it in, yes, that's one signature per page, but what is the value there? There's a lot of value to a person's name and a person's signature on a movement like this. Just a few more questions here. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, I've got like a signature gathering hack. I put this on the back of a clip.
I love it.
If I'm at some event, so you don't have to approach people and talk to them.
Turn it
Can you
around.
show it? So,
Yeah.
That's
Turn
beautiful.
around. After she's done that, turn around, please.
thank you, sir, so much.
Erin, I have a quick question.
Yes.
What if we have relatives or friends that lives in rural areas
Yes, ma'am.
and they have no printer? Can we mail it to them?
Yes.
Fold it and mail it to them?
Again, until I get the questions answered by the Secretary of State, I have not found an election law that says that you can't hold it. However, I would like to ask
Put it
people.
back, we can iron it.
No, don't iron it. Do not iron it. Weight of these petitions likely will increase it. However, what I'd like to say is hold off for folding. We are, for select cases, for rural areas, we are sending out, and we have the budget for a small amount of people who are in that situation. If they furnish us their name and address, and they indicate as such that they don't have a place where they can go print that's close, and they don't have any neighbors that might have it, we will have one mailed to them.
But then they become their own collector, correct?
Yes.
Oh, one would hope that they would make sure they fill the sheet. But the important part is also, if they do send us their name and address, okay, they indicate to us if they need 1 or 2 or 3 petitions. Is that for, sometimes they're small towns? We have a smaller town and smaller community that thought they would be able to get maybe 10 signatures. They went to their local place. I won't even say what it is, but they went to their local place where everybody gathers, and they have hundreds of signatures. Even Democrats is what we were told. Okay, so it just got around town. They were going to be there, and everybody showed up. So, and they said that they had not seen that many people in that space that they know of ever. So it's important that we be open to those opportunities and what the community wants and needs. So, yes, one more question.
I'm just concerned about the 3 signatures again, because someone back here asked if someone messes up on signature number 2, let's say,
It could be problematic.
and yeah, so it's that same person, we take that same person and have them redo it in number 3.
So are you saying that they mess up on the address or they mess up on that line item, have them sign number? They can write on number 3. What you need is an entire line item that is accurate.
Okay, so in other words, a minute you can only have 2 signatures if one is messed up, that's okay.
Yes.
But not scribbled or anything, not.
I would suggest not to put a line through at this time. It's also another question I've asked to the Secretary of State. Before everybody goes, I would like to ask everybody if we can get a picture for those people who would like to be in the picture. I see some people are leaving and kind of migrating towards the door. Those people who would like to have a picture, grab yourself a Recall Gavin Newsom sign. Maybe Crystal Jade or somebody else will be able to take some photos. We want to show the communities that we're fighting back, and largely. They don't realize they